it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no video. I hope you guys had a fantastic holidays with your family and friends. It's crazy to me that we're in the last week of 2021. I'm filming this video on Monday, which would be December 27th. To me, to keep track of days is getting really hard now, but I've got the whole week of work off, so let's hope I can start cranking out some more videos here. And at the same time try to take a breather and relax from my physically demanding job. But anyways, I cannot believe that this year is over, and I've done this video, I think, at least the past 2, if not 3 or 4 years since I've started my channel. If I started it when I first started my channel, it would have been since 2018. Otherwise, I think 2019 is when I started this. I'm not sure. I really need to go back and look at these things. But I've done like a year in review, like the good, the bad, the ugly, like what kind of happened, to me every single year. And to me, this is a good way to look back on memories. But at the same time, it's kind of cool, like I said, to sit and reflect and say, okay, look how far I've come every single year. Now, some years have had more negative things than others. Like, of course, I think of like, okay, 2018, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. But at the same time, it's like, how could I look at that negative thing and put a positive spin on it? So like out of that, I ended up with this amazing YouTube community that I literally am so blessed to have. So that being said, I'll jump right into kind of breaking down what I happened and went through every single, not exactly every single month, but kind of how things happen in chronological order and my closing thoughts for 2021. So we'll jump right into the video. So January of 2021 started off pretty awesome, knowing that like, yes, I'm going to be graduating from dental hygiene school this year. So I kicked off my final semester with dental hygiene school. We took our oath as dental hygienists. We got pinned, had a pinning ceremony. That was pretty awesome. I know I have yet to do those videos. Please bear with me. I'm trying to figure out a way to break those apart so that they're not 5 hours a piece and that you're not bored listening to me rant and rave about dental hygiene school. But that started, and then as well as I was able to find out that the tandem pump was really working for me at that point, keeping my A1C under 7, but also more in the mid to low 6s typically, or higher 6s. I've been pretty healthy as far as my A1C goes, and it's been real easy to manage diabetes. I did take like a small pump break kind of at the end of this year, and I kind of went off of it after figuring out that it doesn't really work well with my job for control. And again, if you see a cat's tail, you know who exactly this is. It's Tinkerbell. Why are we in the video again? But anyways, I found out that the tandem pump at the beginning of 2021 was really working for me, which was a perfect way to start off dental hygiene school for my last semester. Anyways, we'll move on to February and March. And again, this is not an alcoholic drink. This is a sparkling water. I'm holding it because my cat, I'm pretty sure, will knock it over, and we're going to end up having a mess on the floor if we're not careful here. But February and March, I was given the opportunity at my college to receive the COVID-19 vaccines. I ended up with Moderna's version. And again, I have not talked about how that affected me on this channel yet, but my first vaccine was not a fun experience. The second one I got, I had like 0 issues with it. So I took the opportunity and took it just because, as I said, my college was offering it as a student in a clinical facing role or in a patient based setting where you're literally interacting with people, even though I'm truly not like a full-blown healthcare provider, like at the time, like licensed with the state. They were offering it to students in that role, meaning if you were a student nurse at my college, a student dental hygienist, a student dental assistant, a student CNA, a student physician, physical therapist assistant, or physical therapy assistant, like you were offered these, offered this opportunity to get it, and I didn't have to pay for it. The first one I got, I had to go to an off-site near a large international airport, which was super weird. And then my second one, I had to go to Lambeau Field. So if you guys kind of know, like that's the area of Wisconsin I'm from. I'm from like the very northern part of Wisconsin. So like I had to go to Lambeau Field for my second shot, which was interesting, like to walk in there and like get my vaccine. So I got those 2 things. And then after I had my second one, there was like no problems. Come April 1st, as foolish as this sounds, I took my national board exam, which is part of being licensed as a dental hygienist anywhere. That is the written board. I took that April 1st, pretty locally to me, and I passed. So I took that right away in April. I think it was the second one in my class to take it. I went through and got that. Again, I want to share how I prepared for that and what really made me successful during the testing time and how my blood sugars were and all those different things. So I did that in April, and then come May was the big time for me to do my clinical board as well as graduate. And let me tell you, to feel like, ooh, I'm done. Like, I'm going to graduate. I'm completely done. It was like the coolest experience ever. I'm like, all my hard work paid off. I got highest honors. You know, like, I could not imagine how fast at that time was going to go, even though there were some days I came home here and I cried because it was that difficult. I did it. Sleepless nights, even with blood sugar days. I never ever missed a day of college. I proved to the world that you can do anything. And it was like, woo, I'm done. Like, this is it. I don't have to worry about this anymore. And at that time, I was also kind of end of April, beginning of May, I was interviewing at different places. I had an opportunity as an intern, as to be a dental hygiene intern at a VA clinic in a very large city. I turned it down. It just didn't feel right, even though I know for a fact I would have done very well in that position. It just was something my gut told me no. It just, when your gut tells you no, you got to go with it. And then I interviewed at a smaller office, and I've been with that office since I've gotten my license, and it's been pretty good. I really enjoy the kind of the smaller atmosphere. It feels like family, and you know what? It's much. Something told me yes to that office, and so I went with it, and I've just been sticking with it since. Doesn't mean that it's going to be my only office I'm going to ever end up working with in my life. Probably not, because things can change, life can change. Things can change in that office setting. You know, things can change in my personal life, so I'm keeping an open door as to, like, I've been there for well over 6 months now, and who knows where life's going to take me, but it's a good place for me to start, and I have had that job lined up in May. Actually, it was lined up in May, right when I took my clinical boards, and then they officially hired me on in June. So June 9th, I was officially hired on at my place of work. And they were allowing me to do some dental assisting, basically not the hands-on dental assisting, but like learning the ropes of their computer system and how they processed and did things in the office versus like what I was learning in school. In private practice, it's a little bit different. Not saying it's incorrect, but you just got to be that much quicker and that much faster. So they were gradually allowing me to learn some things for those first 4 weeks, and I was able to get paid for it, which was super nice. So I was working like a couple of days a week, just to kind of gradually build me in there. And at that time, I was also doing a lot of artwork and commissions for people. And I was still waiting for my license to come in. I took my board exam at the end of May. And then come July 2nd, I finally called the state and I said, my office is getting sick and tired of waiting around. They need a hygienist. They need something legal here to show she's ready to go. And July 2nd, I got my official dental hygiene license to legally practice dental hygiene in the state of Wisconsin. Not that I wasn't legally a hygienist. It's just that you have to have that physical paperwork in the office from the state to say, yes, this person has successfully completed dental hygiene schooling and has successfully proven to the Board of Dentistry of this state that she is able to practice safely and able to practice as this healthcare provider, or this type of healthcare provider. So you have to prove that you have to have your licensure on the wall, and literally it has your full name and like able to practice dental hygiene in the state of Wisconsin on X and X date. And then it was passed by the board, and there's a bunch of people signing it on the bottom, and it's got a seal on it. It's like a whole fancy schmancy thing. So come July, I got my license. Now, kind of weirdly at this time, as you probably already seen my videos, I had a kind of a little health scare. Like, all of a sudden, I suddenly had this random infection on my neck that turned into something massive. It turned into something called cellulitis, and it ended up putting me in urgent care and the ER all on the same day, and I still got a scar to prove it. It's hard for you to see in this lighting, but there's this little pink-white scar. It's kind of fading, kind of not. Like, if I take a shower or like right now, I can clearly see it, but maybe some of you can't. But there was this like weird scabbing kind of wound on my neck that wouldn't heal, and it ended up being cellulitis, and I'm thankful I went through that and survived it, and I would not wish that on anybody. It's an awful thing, and it's an awful thing to take antibiotics as a type 1 diabetic because you're insulin resistant and all these different things. But then after that, I was able to see my first official patients on July 12th because my office closes for the whole week of for the 4th of July, kind of like we are doing for Christmas. That's the other major holiday we closed the whole week down for. or the week of, and they gave me time to recover from cellulitis. And then July 12th, when we opened back up, I saw my first patients, and then a few weeks later, I took a trip down to Illinois with my friend who needed to take her clinical board down there for other reasons. So I got to take a little trip, like day trip down there. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Lots of farm fields in Illinois for any of you that are living there and maybe watching this video. I'm from Wisconsin. We're in the Midwest, but I saw nothing but cornfield after cornfield after cornfield after cornfield, and I was like, wow, at least I got some trees to look at around here. Not saying your state sucks, but I'm saying like to drive 6 hours straight and see nothing but cornfield and wind turbines and crop dusters was rather interesting. We were kind of really much centrally located in the middle of Illinois, way southwest of Chicago, not near any super big city or anything like that. Large enough city. We were kind of where, if you all know where Eastern Illinois University is, we were in a town about 10 miles west of that. So kind of cool. August comes around, I get another scare, and I'm going to talk about this in the future again, a little more as to how that happened. There was a work-related incident that happened to me. I happened to get a light poke or a light surface scratch. I'll put a picture here from a contaminated dental instrument on my forearm, despite wearing gloves and PPE and all those different things. It was more like a light, quick surface scratch. Now, because it induced a little bit of bleeding, I had to get tested for bloodborne diseases. That is an OSHA standard. That is a standard that my office upholds to, and they uphold the OSHA standards. You need to do that. It's a safety precaution, and because of the patient situation where, like, you don't know if a patient is going to necessarily be 100% truthful on a medical history, or they often will not be willing to get tested themselves, you need to get tested to make sure you're safe. So I got tested for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV, and I'm negative. However, it's another OSHA standard, as well as a safety precaution on my end because the patient did not get tested. The patient who had the instruments that were in the patient's mouth, that patient is not getting tested to end the situation, because if you test the patient or the source and you prove that the source is negative, it closes the case. Because we're not testing the source of contamination, they're only testing, I don't want to call myself a victim, but testing the person who got the injury, the injured one. That would be me, the injured one. I have to go through the testing again 6 months later. Now, they used to have to, interestingly enough, you used to have to do it at the initial time you got injured, 6 months after and a year after. However, now the new OSHA guidelines say after 6 months, if you test completely negative for those 3 bloodborne illnesses, you no longer have to worry. So, come next February, we're closing in on 6 months. February 18th, I will know if I'm completely clean. I have not had any weird symptoms, so odds are I'm fine. My biggest risk as a dental healthcare professional is actually the hepatitis versus HIV, but I'm probably more worried about HIV, which is odd enough. But hepatitis B, I am vaccinated for Hep B. I've been vaccinated since I've been an itty bitty little baby. Hep C is actually curable, believe it or not. They have a treatment for it that's like 99 or 98% effective, as far as I'm aware. And I have several friends that are nurses that have told me this. And so that's probably my biggest risk as a dental healthcare professional is getting hepatitis. Now, because the surface scratch was very, very light, there was hardly any bleeding, and based on what we figured out, you have to have a blood-to-blood contact in order for yourself to kind of get transposed to these viruses. It's not saliva to blood. It has to be something that has blood on it or blood in it and has to get into your bloodstream. Because I immediately washed the wound, and because what I was scratched with did not have blood on it, the odds of me having anything are extremely minimal. Now, that doesn't mean it's not been easy to kind of sit and think about for a little bit of time. There are times where I'm like, oh, I'm probably positive, and here we go. Let's start 2022 with a bloodborne disease, but I'm sure I'm fine. I feel fine. I guess I've talked to my doctor and my endocrinologist who have said your main symptom is like super duper feeling sick, as well as continuous fevers, believe it or not, will often pinpoint to hepatitis or, excuse me, HIV. So I'm 99.999% sure I am negative, but I get to get retested for that again. So that was another interesting thing about 2021. But with that being said, we'll jump into September timeframe, which again was fun because I celebrated my golden birthday. So I turned 23 on the 23rd of September. So I guess it's kind of a once in a lifetime thing. And I had a good time on my birthday. I worked on my birthday, but then had really good blood sugars that day. I got to go and eat and celebrate with family. got lots of amazing happy birthday messages. And it was like, whoa, okay, I am 23. It does, like, to me, I was like, after I get used to saying, like, I'm a certain age for a long time, I'm like, how old am I again? Like, or like, okay, I have to, like, literally think about it now because I'm just newly turned 23, like, 3 months ago. So, like, somebody asked me, how old are you? I'm like, 23. Like, I have to sit and literally think about it because I get so used to having, like, a certain age, and then by the time you get used to having your age again, your birthday's around, and here you go, another year's gone. But for 23, I can't believe how much I've accomplished in my life at such a young age. I think my generation gets put down and pushed down because we're young. I'm technically not even a millennial. I'm technically the next generation down, which is interesting. But that age group, or the millennial and the generation of mine, are I'm kind of like borderline millennial / new generation, right, or whatever they're called. We get downplayed a lot because we're not. They get cold that we don't have a work ethic, that we're not going to be successful, that we don't care about X, Y, and Z. We're going to let the world go to waste. Definitely not my case. At my age, I feel like I've experienced and seen more, as much as somebody who's significantly older than me. Like, I am an old soul, so I look at the world from a very mature perspective, and I've done that pretty much my entire life. I was raised as an only child, but I was very much raised in an adult perspective. My parents never talked down to me. They never tried to hide any adult things from me. They never tried to downplay things. So for me to look at things from a very adult perspective is not hard. But yeah, I'm 23 now, and cheers, I guess. 24 is just around the corner, so if I forget to say, like, how old I am, or I'm incorrect with it on a video, y'all can laugh at me, because by the time I get used to telling you I'm 23, I'm going to be 24, and I'm going to have to learn it all over again. So yeah, I did a lot of other things, I guess. Throughout the entire year, I built a lot of really awesome friendships to last a lifetime, so that's pretty awesome. I took a couple trips to do some, like, birthday gatherings with some friends, looked at, like, the fall leaves. I took a lot of pictures, those types of things. And then, of course, November and December, we had all these wonderful holidays that came up, aka Thanksgiving and Christmas. Got to celebrate all those. And what's kind of amazing to March 2020 is when I initially got 1,000 subscribers. I was, like, when the pandemic started. We're at the end of 2021, and I am, like, less than 300 subscribers away from 3,000. And that blows my mind. Like, how fast this channel continues to grow, despite me even not necessarily posting content as regularly as I'd like to, blows my mind. And I am keeping this channel going, and here goes my cat again, back and forth, back and forth. I am not going to end this YouTube channel. I'm going to only keep this going and share parts of my life when I'm ready to share those parts of my life. And just, I don't know, life can continue to journey on as much as it is. I don't know where life's going to take you, and I'm pretty transparent. I like to share a lot of different things with you guys, and as things change in my life, I will certainly share those, and as new adventures pop up and new video ideas pop up, I'm certainly going to share those. I literally have a huge list of videos that I want to do, so let's just keep them going, keep them rolling. But yeah, this was 2021. It was a lot. A really, really good year for me, though. I mean, seriously, in more ways than one, despite having a couple of major, like, weird health things pop up or scary situations. I had one heck of an awesome year, and there's really not a year that I can think of in my life. Sure, were there some years that were a little bit more difficult than others? Sure, but, like, I take a year and go, okay, look at all these wonderful blessings that have happened to me, but this year really does stand out to me. Like, this is a year filled with so many amazing blessings. Like, I am a working adult, like, fully working adult now, versus just kind of doing things on the side. I was able to take some trips with some friends. I've been able to do a lot of passions of mine and continue those. Even with working, I literally have a job that I love. I love being a dental hygienist, and I love being a YouTuber. Believe it or not, this is like a second job for me, because if you don't know, I do monetize on the videos I make. I don't make tons, and I'm not a money person, but I am able to monetize on this channel, which is amazing to me, and I actually like to take the money I earn and give back to other people. I'm a very generous giving person, so, like, I'm the kind of person, like, if you were standing out in the freezing cold, I'd give you my jacket, even if it meant that I froze to death and you were warm. So Yeah, I literally can't believe how fast this year's flown. I can't believe that 2022 is around the corner, and I can't wait to see what 2022 brings for me, because it's going to be a good year. This year was really amazing for me in so many more ways than one, and I could only imagine that life is going to get better and better. Doesn't mean that I'm going to have everything as peachy keen roses and unicorns all the time. Probably not. There's going to be some downfalls. There may be some more difficult moments, but you know what? I'm ready for 2022, and I hope you guys are too. So no intents on rhyming that, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though I feel like I was like about a tangent. I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel like I can't get my thoughts together when I do this video. I've looked at other videos of this in the past, and I feel like these are nice videos, but these are probably the videos that I do every single year that it literally sounds like I'm off on a tangent. But despite that, I hope you got a glimpse as to what happened in Maddie's life in 2021, and let's carry on to 2022. I wish you nothing but lots of good health and lots of blessings in 2022, and let's just keep going, right? Let's journey on. Let's keep taking care of ourselves. I'm making better goals to take care of myself as a type 1 diabetic. I was experimenting around at the end of this year, so I'm kind of curious to know, like, if my experimental types of things are working well for my A1C and stuff like that. I had a little bit of a burnout. Not like a bad burnout, but there was a good week where I was just like, nah, diabetes, you suck. I don't want to take care of it. So let's just continue to take care of ourselves, take a moment, breathe, be thankful for what you do have. Don't gripe about what you don't. I can't emphasize it enough. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post as often as I can about type 1 diabetes plus more. Stay tuned for more videos. I promise we will get there. Life, you guys, like, life is chaotic, but it's a good kind of chaotic. So embrace your chaos, enjoy all the busy times, enjoy your down times, and enjoy spending it with people you love. So until next time for another video, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful, and happy New Year. I will see y'all in 2022. Bye, everyone.